Hey you guys, Dr. Jeremy here, and I wanted to take a minute tonight and teach you a little bit, share a little bit about how our internal nervous system and nervous system response really works, because deep down we are all designed and programmed for health, we're designed and programmed for healing, and we are designed and programmed for adaptability. That is such a key word, is that our bodies are literally designed and programmed to adapt every single day to our environment, to the stressors we experience, whether it's physical stress, whether it's chemical stress, whether it's mental and emotional stress. Our bodies should be able to adapt and respond to it. And I titled this video that you cannot be in growth and protection at the same time. And that is such an important concept, especially when we're talking about kids in our office and we're talking about health, when we're talking about the declining state of health, because what it really means is that there's two different sides of our nervous system, right? On one side, we have this fight, flight, survival mode, right? On the other side, we have growth, healing, development mode, and we can't be in both at the same time. It's almost like you're driving your car and you're like, well, I'm gonna be over on this side and I'm gonna be hammering the gas pedal as fast as I can go. But at the same time, I wanna be able to just push the brakes and have access to both at the exact same time. You can't. You have to either, push the gas over here, you have to let off in order to effectively use the brakes, you have to let off the brakes in order to effectively accelerate, and your body has this, or your car should have this ebb and flow of gas and brake, right? Well, our bodies are the same way. Think about a time that maybe you were hiking in the woods, or think of a time when maybe in the future you might be, you're hiking in the woods and you see a bear, right? What does your body actually do? You go into this response of fight, flight, or even freeze, but it's survival mode, right? Our body completely shifts. All of our resources go to survival. So the blood shifts away from our organ systems. We become hyper alert and aware of our surroundings because everything our body is doing is preparing itself for survival. On the other end of things, think of a time when your body was really kind of run down and you just needed to rest, you needed to recover. And it almost felt like your arms and legs just didn't even work, and your insides were just like going to work and really healing and going into this overactive health mode. And we can't do both things at the same time because it's not possible. So how does that influence our everyday life? Well, typically what we see is that all of a sudden we're bombarded by stress, we're bombarded by this hyper fight flight response first thing in the morning, right? We wake up to an alarm clock. We maybe hit snooze on the alarm clock, and then all of a sudden we're late for work and we're rushed. And then we get in the car and there's traffic, and so then there's a heightened response to traffic, or maybe there's if we go all the way down to the kids, maybe you get on the bus and there's stress with other kids on the bus. There's noise, there's loudness, there's different social things that stress kids out. And all of a sudden we start to build this stress all the way throughout our day, whether it's adults, whether it's kids. And we never really get to decelerate out of stress mode. And so we start to see this lifestyle of stress response happening, this lifestyle of being stuck in protection and survival mode. And the reason it's so important is that all too often in our office we see kids, we see parents, we see, across the board, is that it's not only an issue with, let's just use ADHD for an example. We see so many kids in our office with ADHD. It's not just this neurosensory issue of an output of energy, but we also see these same kids over and over dealing with things like, constipation, diarrhea, digestive issues. They have chronic immune struggles. All of these different things are happening in their bodies, and it isn't because they're dealing with this neurosensory struggle over here, it's because their bodies are stuck in this protection mode. And when our bodies get stuck in protection mode, they don't go into healing and growth and development mode. And so all these organ systems start to become stressed. So that's why it's so important to start to look at, well, where are we on this scale of stress? The coolest thing is that in our office we can actually measure where you sit on this scale of fight or flight and rest, digest, growth and development, protection and survival. It's called heart rate variability. It's one of the most important tests you can do, and it's one of the simplest things that we can do. It literally takes 3.5 minutes of measuring your heart rate to find out, do you have the capacity, do you have the reserve in your system to simply adapt to the environmental stress that you put on yourself every single day? We can do this with infants, we can do this all the way up to the elderly, and it gives us a window into your neural response. What's happening, your stress response, how is your body actually responding to your everyday demand? And then from there we get to have the conversation of, what does it mean to start to help your body pump the brakes? How can chiropractic start to help your body reduce its active stress response and start to move into that, growth, development, learning, reaching your potential type response? So if you have any questions about this, we have a workshop coming up next Wednesday night. I'll put the link right in this video below, or just reach out, ask your questions in the comments below, personal message me. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, because it's our mission. It is our calling to get out and help people become healthier, help people reach their potential, and ultimately help kids and families live their absolute best life and hopefully be as drug-free as possible. So reach out, ask questions. We want to help, we want to serve you, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.